Dear students, in the previous video we talked about the main functions of the leaf, right? Along with these main functions, if you remember main functions, photosynthesis, that is making of food, transpiration, removal of extra water from the plant body, gaseous exchange, taking and giving out of required gases from the plant body, right? So this we already have read. Nearly all the green leaves of all kinds of plants, they carry out these three functions. That's why it is called the main functions of the. You being a student, what is your main function? To study. But along with that, you do many other works also. Many other functions also you carry out, such as you play football. At that time you become footballer, right? Some of you dance so nicely and you become dancers. Sometimes you sing so nicely and you have that skill also, you become good singers. At that time you'll be called singer. At that time, you though you are a student, but when you do some change function, other functions that are required, right? That may be because of your hobby, but here in plants it is required. They are compelled to do so, right? Do you follow? So these functions, other than these three functions, photosynthesis, transpiration and gaseous exchange, these leaves they carry out modified. What do you understand of this word modified? Modified means changed. Changed functions. Right? You being a student, you become dancer. You being a student, you tend to be a singer. You being a student, you become a football player. You being a student, study is your main function. But along with that, you perform some modified change functions also, right? So what are the change functions? First one that we will read is leaf tendril. Leaf tendril means, you may have seen the leaves of pea plants, right? And what happens, this, if this is the stem, right? What happens from the tip of the leaf, from this tip of the leaf, you see sometimes this wire, coiled wire like structure develops from the tip of the leaf. This one, right? This one, I'm talking of this structure, right? This is just a coiled wire like structure like this. You may have seen most of this in the weak stem plants like the bottle gourd, that green color gourd commonly used in our houses to make vegetable curry. Then you may have seen the pumpkin, big one. You may have seen the watermelon plant. So from the leaves, these leaf tip sometimes develop coiled wire like structure. What is this for? This is to hold some strong object to raise the plant up, right? This they develop and they raise the plant body higher. They climb. This helps them climb on a stiff object to get more sunlight, right? Because they have so many leaves. If they will not climb, they cannot increase their branches and leaves. So this leaves that develop coiled wire-like structure, they are called as leaf tendrils. What do you call this coiled? Leaf tendril. Tendril. So sometimes the leaves they modify their structure, right? Their leaf tip develops into a coiled wire-like structure, right? And this coiled wire-like structure is known as leaf tendril. Why does these leaves do so? Why do they change their shape or they develop one additional structure that is called? It's because they want to hold this. They don't have these fingers to catch, right? Or tweezers like other animals to catch or trap. They develop this, and what happens, you may have noticed, around this hard object, maybe a small plant or maybe a dry wood stem or the roof or the wall, they coil around. If this is the stiff object, what happens? They coil around this, and thus what happens? They can rise up. So these leaf tendrils are the modified leaves that develop from the leaf tip and help in the mechanical support. Mechanical support. So this is the first kind of modification in the leaf, and this is one of the modified function, changed function of the leaf. Along with these three functions, all these three functions are already carried out by this leaf. Along with this is the additional function or changed function of the leaf. So such a function that is other than these three main functions is called as modified functions. Here the leaf tip develops into a coiled wire-like structure that helps in coiling around a stiff object to rise up, and getting the support of that object, this structure develops. So these leaves sometimes do this additional function called the modified function, and these leaf tendrils are for mechanical support, right? Sometimes what happens, second one, scale leaves for food storage, right? You may have seen onion. Have you seen onion bulb commonly used in our houses? I have one onion in my hand. You can see this structure. You can see this structure is the root, right? This one is the root. Can you see this root? I'm just showing you the root. And where is the stem of this? You should not confuse. This one is not the stem, right? This one is the leaf base. I will show you. So where is the stem? After the root it should have stem. So where is the stem? The stem is at this place. You see, stem is at this place. Where I am showing you, stem is at this place, right? If I remove this, immediately you have the stem. I am just cutting this for you longitudinally, right? I have cut this onion. Now you see, you can easily locate this one is the root, and where is the stem? This portion is the stem. Only this much is the stem, right? Only this much is the stem, and from this stem leaves come out. This one is the leaf, green colored here, but at the base I am taking out one of the leaf. You see, yes, I'm taking out one of the leaf. You see, this is the leaf base. You see, this portion that I have taken out is the leaf base. Clear? But you see, this leaf base is fleshy, little bit thicker, right? Little bit thicker. How it has turned thick? Why? You may have, I have told you about the leaf structure in my previous videos. So this is the leaf base, and you see, I have told you one of the pattern of arrangement of leaf. If you remember this whole arrangement, where what happened? The leaves develop from all around the stem or branch. You see, in this onion, this white colored, pale yellow colored structure, this one, where I am showing, you can notice one yellowish color structure, sunken, the stunt, not stunt, very small stem is there. This is the stem, and from all around this stem, in a whorl type of arrangement, the leaves come out, right? And what is this? You see, this that I have peeled out is the leaf base. Leaf base, I have told you, I will draw this leaf base. You may have seen onion leaf is having parallel venation. Do you remember? The onion leaf is having parallel venation. This portion is this one. This one is the leaf base. And this leaf is arranged all around this stem. You can see I am marking this stem of this now. Oh, it's not working here. The pen is not marking here, but see this portion of the, now I am touching the stem of onion, right? This is stem, and this leaf, they develop overlapping leaves. Overlapping means one above the other, they develop. And what happens, these green leaves, they manufacture food, and that food is stored, and this portion of the leaf becomes thick. This portion of the leaf, because of storage of food, this becomes very thick and take the shape of this. This is the stem. This is the stem. From this stem, the roots, and you see from here the leaves develop. And this goes on swelling. What is the reason behind this? Reason is, whatever food is manufactured here in the green leaves, this food that is manufactured here, that gets stored in these leaves, overlapping leaves. So the second, and where is the stem? This is the stem, and all around from this stem the leaves develop, and this is the root of this plant. This is the stem of this plant, and this is the leaf base, and this is lamina. This, when you go above, this flattened green wide spread area is lamina, leaf lamina, right? So leaf starts from here, and this become solid and takes the shape of a bulb. This takes the shape of a bulb. You see, we have this onion now. Can you see? We have this onion now. All this that I am holding is the leaf that we eat in our salads, in our vegetable, in our curry, right? So some of the leaves, they modify for the purpose of storing extra food that they produce, right? So this second modified function of in certain plants is the storage of food, and leaves become. So this is one example. You have another example, this garlic bulb. You see, this garlic is storing lot of food. You see, these are scaly leaves that this is appearing as peel. No, this is scaly leaf of this plant, right? I am removing the leaf, and you see some of the leaf bases. You see, this is leaf base only. This portion that you see here, this is leaf base. This one is leaf, and this one is leaf base. And you see how thick this leaf base has become. You see, and here you have the stem as in onion. At this place you have the stem, and from this one that you see, the thickened structure that is commonly used in our kitchen, this structure is the leaf base, and here goes the lamina, right? So see how much food this has stored. So examples of food storing modified leaves are onion, garlic. These are very common ones, right? You can see, what is this? If I ask you what is this, so you should not confuse, must not say this is fruit or seed. What is this? This is leaf base, the base of the leaf, right? You see, I will draw a simple leaf so that you can understand. If this is the leaf, this portion where they store the food, right? And this is, that one is this leaf base. This is leaf base. Here the leaf base is this one. This whole thickened structure. Here this plant has stored, this garlic has stored the food. So some of the leaves, they modify for the purpose of storage of food, and these examples are onion and garlic, right? Sometimes what you see, some of the leaves they turn into prick-like, needle-like structures. Right? You may have seen the prickly pear or opuntia. You may have seen opuntia and cactus. Have you seen cactus plant? You see cactus plant, you see, and on these cactus plants you see this type of structures, prick like structures, right? This is prick like structure, right? And this flaccid portion, thick portion, this one, that is green in color, and you often confuse this one where I am moving my pen, all this is green in color, right? All this portion is green in color, right? That I am removing now, you can see this is green in color. Can you see this green color? This one is stem of the plant, and this prick is the leaf. Oh my god. And here you can see the roots, and at this place onwards, this whole, this flat colored structure is the stem of the plant, right? So what happens? Why the leaves have turned into the, this is generally seen in xerophytic or desert land plants. About the desert land plants, you know the feature. The desert land soil is devoid of sufficient water. The plants that develop in the desert land, they don't find sufficient water to grow and develop. So they need to, whatever water at occasions or during rainy season or during favorable conditions or season, whatever water they get, they absorb it fast, store inside their stems, right? And these leaves are turned into prick-like, thorn-like structures. Why is it so? It's because these thorns, they will not have this wide lamina as generally we see in common leaves. If this wide lamina will not be there, they will not have the stomata in them. If they will not have the stomata, the whatever extra water is there, that will have to remain inside the plant body. They cannot come out. As I have told you, all the leaves they carry out transpiration, that is they expel extra water from the plant body, and if no stomata, they will not be able to remove the excess water. And what happens when you either eat too much or drink lot of water, you become bellied, right? Your belly protrudes out, becomes swollen. Or if you feel lot of air inside the balloon becomes inflated. Similarly, because of water inside this plant, these stems become flaccid, juicy and swollen. And they, as the leaves, they don't have white lamina to trap the sun's light for photosynthesis. How will they carry out photosynthesis? Again, this stem modifier. This stem turns green with the presence of chloroplast, and they just trap the sunlight and help in the process of photosynthesis. Do you understand? So the third kind of modified function of the leaf is leaf spine, and two reasons. One is to retain the extra water in the plant body, and the second purpose of this modification is to protect this plant from grazing, getting grazed away by the grazing animals, the herbivores, camel, goat and donkey. Many of the grazing animals keep moving around and they graze away these plants. So once if they will attempt to graze, these pricks will prick into their mouth or their snout, and they will just keep away from this plant. They will not attempt to graze away this plant. So for the sake of their protection as well as for the sake of retention of extra water in the plant body, these leaves modify into prick-like structure called the leaf spines or pricks. So this is the third kind of modification. There is another kind of modification in the plant body, that is for the insectivorous plants. Right, insectivorous plants means some of the plants, they are either in the center of desert land or in the sea or at such places where it is difficult to get the nitrogenous substances for their growth and development. To meet this requirement, some of these leaves, they modify their shape and structure. They change their shape and structure and they trap the insect. You know, in this very common is the pitcher plant. As the name suggests, insectivorous means insect eater. These plants, they eat insects. Isn't it surprising? Plants eat insect. Do they have mouth? No, they don't have the mouth. Then how do they do so? Plants, they don't have the mouth. We eat using our mouth. How will they? So what happens? You see some of the plant leaves. Suppose this is the plant. So from this leaf base that modifies into a pitcher-like structure. Can you see? So their leaf base develops a pitcher like, you know, and then pots used in our houses for storing water. This is pitcher, right? Pitcher. Earthen pots. You may have seen this pitcher in the thirsty crow story. So during the summer season, there was a thirsty crow in search of water. That crow located this earthen pot, that is pitcher, with a little of water at the bottom, and he was a smart crow. He used his brain, sat on the brim of this, that crow sat, and that crow started dropping small pebbles of stones, small pieces of stones, and that these pebbles, they have raised, they occupied the place inside this, and this water level raised up, and the thirsty crow satisfied the thirst. This was the story, right? So this, I was just wanted to tell you about this picture. Some of the plants, those who cannot get the nitrogenous nutrients from the soil or from the surrounding, they try to get it from the insects. So they develop a very beautiful, attractive leaf base like this picture. You see, and this also has a brim, and this has a brim. This, but what happens? This brim develops, releases very sticky and slippery, very slippery slime-like substance on this. Slippery means gel-like substance, right? Means if a insect happen to sit there, will slip down into the bottom. What happens? This is a very attractive structure. Flying insect get attracted towards this, thinking it has a flower or something to go and see. Then as soon as the insect sits here, it falls down inside this pitcher and comes here, right? The insect falls here, and these insects, then this leaf surface, the leaf base, releases further enzymes and dissolves this insect and absorbs the nutrient into the plant body, and through this The system inside them, this nutrient is transported to different parts of the plant body. Some of the leaves you see, they develop like a trap, like the Venous Fly Trap. Here what happens, if this is the leaf base develops into two half, right? Two half, and this will have the pricks. This will have the pricks. And what happens if a if an insect comes and sits on this, suppose a insect comes and say sits here, sits here, what will happen, this will gradually, suppose as soon as, say, I'm taking one example from, say, this leaf. This leaf, suppose this one is the insect, this is the leaf, this structure, and if this insect comes here, what will happen, gradually, like your book notebook, this leaf gradually closes slowly like this and traps the insect inside. It's cause this insect can notice even that is getting trapped here, and